Hello, welcome. Thanks for dropping in. I'm here to talk about websites I've created and built for various people and myself. I guess the first ever website I called ukpollards.com, and that was where I would showcase any books I'd written, any CD-ROMs or e-books for sale, and I used it to link to anything I was trying to produce and sell. Shortly after starting website design, I came across Race Pro. This was a company that had recently moved to the northeast and was promoting motorsport at the local track. I introduced myself to the owner, a friendly chap called Bob, and I declared that his website was rubbish. This was a guy that was a big character, hailing from London with barraboy traditions and manners, ex-army. So to tell him his website was rubbish was always going to provoke a response. And he retorted, "Build me a website then, Brian. Show me what you're made of." So I sat down in front of him over a few days and described the website I would build. What did I charge for websites in those days? I didn't charge money as such. I decided I would barter track time. I had 3 lads, all growing up, definitely going to be using motorsport facilities. So we come to an agreement, Bob and I would get lifetime track time use for my 3 lads and myself in exchange for his website. And as close as last year, I still use this agreement to ride a bike down at the kart track on a test day. So that was Race Pro, soon to be called Teesside Karting, and now I understand it's just renamed Teesside Motorsport Park. There was a sister company, part of the site, and it was called Arena Quads. So I built them a website as well. And that led on to another large karting company called F1 Karts, based in Northumberland. Very successful kart racers. Meeting Bob at Teesside Karting was one of the best contacts I ever made. Bob is a person, he has 100 ideas a day, and it's just turning them into profitability. I work very closely with Bob as his company grew and as the website grew. He dropped a stone in the water one day. He said to me, "Could you build a website for a boxer?" I was always going to say yes. This boxer was Howard Eastman from Battersea, a well-renowned boxer. He'd been on TV. He was a coloured guy with a white facial hair, beard and moustache. Very skinny, but I suppose you don't need much on you to be a middleweight. He was all top half muscle, Howard. I never did meet him. Talked for many hours on the phone with him. His favourite trick was to be driving along in one of his open top cars, and he would ring me. Could I make adjustments or additions to his website? I prided myself in making these adjustments while we were talking, sometimes before the phone conversation had ended. Howard Eastman. I never got to meet him, but I got to know a lot about him. I produced a website with buttons for his profile, his hobbies, his interests, his background, his statistics, his boxing prowess. He was quite prolific in the middleweight field. He had numerous belts at middleweight, and some he won that often that he got to keep. I believe one of his favourite belts was a Lonsdale belt. Later on in his career, he fought for a World Championships in America. He fought William Joppy, but his strategy was all wrong. He went across to America. 3 American judges, and tried to win on points. He really needed a decisive victory if he was going to get any victory. He got beat on points, and he never recovered from that once-in-a-lifetime chance. Another website I had the pleasure of building and maintaining was for a lady called Linda up in Northumberland. She had 2 vintage Rolls Royces. 1937 marks. I got to drive one of the rolls. We were transporting the rolls to a secure compound further into Northumberland on a farm. Linda had a brand new Golf GTI soft top, and she asked me which I would like to drive on our journey to the secure compound. And I thought, I'll never get another chance, so I chose the Rolls Royce. It was massive. It was like driving a tanker, and it certainly did clunk. I took my son Richard along for the ride, and we did have fun. Other days in the shooting photography term, we went to venues such as the various bridges in Newcastle. Early morning, when there's nobody about, park the Rolls Royce close or on the bridge, and I proceeded to take photos. There wasn't anything like drones in those days, or I may well have used that. She was quite an accomplished Rolls-Royce driver, a very big member in the Rolls-Royce Owners Club, and I understand they all went in convoy to see the Northern Lights. So it was quite a character meeting the lady with two vintage Rolls Royces. Since then, all I've ever done is maintain my ukpollards.com website and small personal websites for people. But thanks for sitting through this as long as you have. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's given insight. Cheers. Join me again soon.